Mm. Cool. Ready?
Yeah, sorry, just pop that to one side.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello
Yes.
and welcome to Rear Naked Chat. We are back. We are talking TUF, the Ultimate Fighter Brazil.
Yes.
Ultimate Fighter Brazil!
Yeah. Yeah, correct pronunciation there. I like it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be hard with the language barrier, but you know what? There's
Mhm.
the international language of fight and conflict, which doesn't need translation, mate.
Exactly. Exactly. No messing.
But I was thinking about Brazil,
Yeah,
man.
go on.
It's just the perfect country to do their first ever international TUF. I
Yeah.
mean, in the previous show, you know, that Brazilians hold just under half the world titles in the UFC. They
Hmm.
only represent 15% of the fight roster. But even that doesn't do it justice, because
No.
think about two of those champs, right? Anderson Silva and Jose Aldo, who basically never lost, essentially. That's what's going on there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then you've got like up-and-comers, like Renan Barão is an up-and-comer. He's 30 fights unbeaten.
Yeah.
Like, he might
Exactly.
just be the greatest fighter to just not have a belt.
Yeah. You don't even know yet. He
Yeah.
hasn't
And
made
who
his way
else?
up.
Edson Barboza.
Edson Barbosa's another one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We saw
Yeah.
what he did to Terry Etim, man. Fucking
And then you got
fucked him
guys.
up.
You got guys like Husama Paul Harris.
Oh, God.
Um,
Love that
he's
guy.
he's not even considered like a sort of top tier guy, but he's a fucking animal.
Yeah, no one
He's
wants to fight him. No
No,
one, mate.
Nobody. He's a beast. So yeah, I could see him in future getting his way up the ranks.
But I've been thinking recently, why is it that Brazilians are so good at MMA, right? And I really kind of started to analyse it. And
Okay,
from what I
nice.
can see, the history of Brazil, right, has two distinct flavours in their MMA. They've got the shooter box, which is like
Yep.
the attacking style seen by Wanderlei
Yep.
Silva, Shogun, those kind of fighters. And then you've
Yep.
got the jiu-jitsu element, which
Hmm.
is almost the whole reason that UFC even exists. You know, with the Gracies starting it, just to show the world, you know, this is what jiu-jitsu can do to a bigger
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I mean, when UFC first started, it wasn't necessarily mixed martial arts. It was more a bit like the Kumite competition, where it's
Yeah.
each person brings their martial art to the table.
Yes.
Let's see who wins, who's
Yes.
the best. And so they kind of sent Hoist to say, right, it's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
what
was,
you do, yeah.
He just started taking people out with it.
You're right, it wasn't mixed. It was just martial arts then. That's all it
Yeah,
was. There was no
yeah.
mixed going on.
I suppose it was mixed as in
Except for that one guy who decided to fight with just one boxing glove,
boxing glove,
and
yeah.
a hand. That was quite mixed.
Yeah. That was the first. That was the first experimentation in bringing two different
Mixed
disciplines
martial
together.
Yeah. But then I started thinking, okay, right, so you've got the shooter box style and the jiu-jitsu style, right? Now, MMA, as we've discussed, has three disciplines: striking, submissions, and wrestling. But wrestling is the only one.
I'd say grappling.
Okay,
Is
grappling
that
then.
fair?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
grappling wrestling is the only one that the Brazilians are missing, but it's also the only style that doesn't finish fights. I mean, yeah, it helps.
Ah,
It gives you technique, but it's not aimed to finish a fight like jiu-jitsu is, like striking is.
yes.
And so it's like the Brazilian base is just all centered around this idea of you just got to finish
Winning.
the fight. Yeah, you got to finish the fight. There's none of this wrestling crap going on. And as we saw in Marcello in the episode of Tough Live, when they were telling us that the wrestling takedown isn't the only way to take someone down. There's jiu-jitsu style takedowns where you fall back with a guy and like you trip them a little bit. So
Yes.
even like when it comes to takedown, wrestling isn't the only weapon you have.
No.
Like I
Exactly
say,
right.
that's a big reason Brazil are top
No.
of the game at the moment, definitely.
I'd say. I mean, America. Obviously, America has got some amazing athletes coming out of there as
Yeah.
well, and some great guys. I'm not going to say. America
Yeah, I don't want it
aren't
to
all
sound
that.
like we're going to bash America. We're just rating Brazil.
But I would also say as well, like wrestling is sort of seems to be the main discipline that comes out of America,
Yes.
and also their stand-up. If you look at boxing,
Yeah.
unless you're a full professional,
Hmm.
amateur boxing is a lot more point-based.
Yes.
You got headgear,
Yes.
so it's a lot. Okay, people do get knocked out.
But it's not
But-
aimed to finish necessarily.
No. The emphasis is a
Yeah.
lot more on the technique and outpointing people.
Yeah.
At
Whereas
the
shooter
amateur
box,
level,
shooter
obviously.
box is about knocking people out.
Knocking motherfuckers out. Yeah, exactly. So,
Wanderlei Silva, mate.
so the younger
Berserker barrage style.
That's it, yeah, berserker style. Yeah, so although with that said, it seems like this show is a bit of a new concept in Brazil. I mean, obviously TUF is an American show pretty
Yeah.
much. It does get broadcast everywhere.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that the way the coaches are kind of describing stuff, they're almost trying to introduce it to people a bit
Educating,
more
yes.
as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Like when they're explaining the fight picks, etc.
Yeah. And the
So
weigh-in as well, there's a bit where they're explaining, like, you know, if you're on weight, then all you got to do is fight. It's like, okay, I think I knew that.
yeah, you didn't really need to point that one out. So yeah, I wonder if they're trying to. Maybe I mean, obviously, there's probably a hardcore audience in Brazil,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but then they're trying to spread it to a wider audience.
Exactly.
But I also wonder as well. Again, I said it last week. I've got no real reference points for these guys that are in the house. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, some of them could be coming from like abject poverty. Like,
Yeah,
you don't even
yeah.
know if they have TVs or
Well,
if they're coming
you
from a
could sort
favela.
of tell that in their reaction to the house.
The
Like,
house,
a
yeah.
lot of them, when they come in, they were just like, fuck me, I've already won. The fact that I'm
Yeah.
living here and not in my own house, I'm winning, mate.
Exactly. Because on the American show, even the more poor guys probably live in a house, made of bricks
Yeah,
with
yeah,
air conditioning or a TV or something.
yeah.
Even the guys who live in trailers have probably got air conditioning and satellite TV.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Whereas these Brazilian guys, you don't know. Like from what I've seen of the favelas,
Yep, yep,
it's third world.
yeah.
So that's an interesting little aspect to the show, I find.
It creates hunger, man. It creates a hunger that makes you, like I said, it makes you not want a point score. Like, no, I'm not taking chances on a point. I
Yeah.
need to finish this and get paid. Get
Yeah.
paid, motherfuckers.
Exactly. So anyway, this show we're talking about, obviously, first of all, they had the fight picks. Any thoughts on that?
The team picks, yeah?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The fight picks, yeah. Any thoughts?
Not really, because it feels like, again, it's always in the beginning of the season. I don't really know the names. I don't know who's who.
Right.
And I can't quite remember who's good yet. I mean, our guy, who is our guy?
Serginho.
Serginho, he got
Smiler.
picked second from last. And like
He's
we had him as our number one last week.
He was the one who said, "Oh, this is going to be good because my mum loves Vitor."
Yeah,
She's going to be really happy that I was on his team.
Yeah, and what a contrast to the other guy who did get picked last. I mean, he got picked second from last. The other guy was just bitching.
He was
Bitching
broken
so
already.
hard. Yeah.
Broken already. I mean, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, he's
They showed
obviously
that already,
he's
didn't
the
they?
Chris Tickle of TUF in Brazil.
Yeah, or maybe if we're going back to the first TUF, maybe he's the Lieben.
The
Maybe Chris
Lieben.
Lieben is a bit of
It's
an
strange you
outsider.
mention the first TUF because this does feel like season one, doesn't it? There's an element about it that just feels like, yeah, man, we're starting something fresh here. This is
When it was all new.
Yeah.
Because, again, to go back to that similar point, the first season of TUF, maybe the first two,
Yeah.
it was still relatively unknown. The guys were going in like, "Oh my god, look at this house!" Blah blah.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
all new.
the later seasons, they know what they're going in
They
for.
know
really.
what's going on,
They're almost
man.
expecting it. It's almost like, "Oh yeah, cool house, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's write some shit on the wall."
Yeah, it's on the first week. It's like, hold on.
So, but yeah, I think the picks are the picks. But that was an interesting little bit at the end where it's interesting how the last pick always reacts, isn't it? And
Oh, I feel so bad for them, man. I feel so bad for them, though.
that guy probably couldn't have reacted worse. To be
Yeah,
honest.
just proper bitching. Just took it so personal, and like I thought to like almost explain his way out of it by saying, "No, I saw your fight. I liked your fight." Vitor should have just been like, "You know what? Prove me wrong. Just prove me wrong, then."
Prove
Like,
me wrong.
Yeah,
And also, you could have been one of the guys who lost on the fight in.
exactly.
So be happy to be here.
Exactly, man. Doesn't matter because like, how many times has the last pick gone on to like be in the final or nearly get there? It's like it's not about the picks, man, necessarily.
It's like I've literally judged you off 10 minutes of fighting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But again, I think that shows the psychology of that guy. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
yeah,
seems
he's-
a bit of a fucking head case to be
He
honest.
is.
Taking his bed outside.
Well, no, he didn't take it. I was reading a review of it because like sometimes you're not getting the full picture in the editing, but
Right.
basically, modest. So what does he do? He moves his mattress under the living room table.
Yeah, I noticed that because I saw him drop it down. I was like, wait, that's not outside.
Yeah, just under the
Just
table.
under a table. Yeah.
Like what?
Just attention seeker, I think.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I like the remix. I like the music.
Yeah, I see they've taken the original.
Yeah,
TUF
just
theme
remixed it.
and just put Brazilian lyrics.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's a direct translation? They
I
just
hope
use the
so.
same
I would
lyrics?
hope so.
I
You're
hope
gonna
so.
get knocked out.
You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get knocked out.
But I like the fact that although we've got the TUF Live, and TUF Live needed to happen because it needed to be changed up. It was too many seasons of the same thing. But I'm glad this is still around because it just reminds me of what made me fall in love with MMA. I mean, the only reason I'm into MMA is because of The Ultimate Fighter when I first started watching it.
Yeah.
And this
I'm
is
loving-
taking me back to that.
I'm loving having two seasons at the same time as well.
So much. There's so
'Cause
much going on.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much, and it's Vitor and Wanderlei,
Yeah.
Dominic Cruz and Faber. It's fantastic.
Big
man.
names.
Yeah.
There was
Speaking
one
of big names.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Go on.
fucking when they were announcing Wanderlei's coaching team,
Yeah,
it's like,
fucking
oh
hell.
my god.
That was ridiculous.
Rafael Cordero,
Yeah.
just legend.
Who's basically, when it comes to
Batman
coaches, he is the Anderson Silva of coaches.
coaches,
Yeah.
yeah. You got Fabricio Verdum,
Yep.
says it all.
Ridiculous.
Babalu,
Yeah.
and then Andre Dida, who's a K1. He's a K1 kickboxer.
Oh, really? K1 level striking coach. Fuck.
So that's his team. But then I was thinking that is ridiculous. And then Vitor's team comes out, and the names weren't as recognisable.
Yeah.
The pedigree of each of the guys was like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
shit. One of them was an Olympic Greco-Roman wrestler.
One was a three-time jiu-jitsu champion.
Yeah, and one was
and the current
K1
jiu-jitsu champion.
and one was the first Brazilian K1 champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love
Pedigree's there,
Vitor's
man.
description. He goes, yeah, he's good at Muay Thai, karate, boxing, and just kicking and punching in general.
Yeah, in general.
That was the exact quote, kicking and punching in general. So,
I love if that comes up as not like when it's keys to victory and that
Kicking
guy's
and
having a fight. It
punching.
just says strengths, kicking and punching in general. But I love the way everyone loves to use Anderson Silva's name when it comes to trainers or fighters. They love dropping the old "I've trained Anderson Silva."
Yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Or I've trained with Anderson Silva. Yeah. Yeah.
Just name droppers.
Yeah. Like everyone wants to take credit for Anderson Silva, man.
Exactly. To be fair, maybe he's done he's just done the rounds and picked up little bits here
Yeah,
and there.
yeah.
And,
Makes sense.
that seems to be what the best fighters do. Actually, GSP's similar. He
moves
trains
around
at a lot of different places,
Yeah.
a lot
He's
of
sort
different
of a
coaches.
Greg Jackson fighter, but he doesn't necessarily train with them.
No,
But
no.
he does have him in his corner. It's
Yeah,
weird,
he's in the
yeah.
camp, but he does
Yeah.
his own thing, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, there was one bit because I thought, okay, it's Brazil. It's obviously a poor country. And I got worried when I saw that Ford Transit van at the start. 'Cause
Why?
I thought, does this motherfucker even have any seats in it? Or are they just crammed in the back, just like swinging around and shit? But luckily when it pulled out, it was like, okay, it's all seated, it's all
It
cool.
was a minibus, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Because they've
minibus.
still got the UFC money behind them.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because I think we touched on it in the last one talking about TUF Brazil. There's just a big divide in Brazil.
Yeah.
Either
I've got
poor-
this really good picture. We'll put it up on our Twitter. It's
Yeah.
of this shot. I think I put it on my personal Twitter once, but it's the favelas right next door to this fucking mansion. And there's
Yeah.
literally this wall dividing it. It's like,
Yeah.
what? How is that possible?
Yeah, but so there is a lot of money in Brazil, but it's just there's
The
no
spread,
sort of real
the
middle
spread.
class. It's just one or the other.
Yeah.
You've got nothing or a lot.
Everything.
So. And I've noticed Wanderlei was playing into that a little bit, where in his
Yeah,
little pre-fight
team
speech,
talk.
he was good because there's that phrase "playboys." That
Yes,
comes up,
you mentioned
which
that
is-
last week, and it came up again. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
a Brazilian thing. Yeah.
And he's like, "There's no playboys on the team. We're all from the hood." Is
Yeah.
how they translated it. And I noticed as well when he was talking about Pepe in the fight, which obviously we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, he's got the Neymar haircut because Neymar's a Brazilian football player.
Yes.
He's kind of
I
like
looked him
the
up.
ultimate playboy.
Playboy,
sort of thing.
yeah.
So he's got a bit of a thing about that.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if he's deliberately picked not necessarily the best fighters, but just all right, he's from the ghetto. He's
Yeah.
from the ghetto.
Yeah.
I'll
It could
have
be.
it.
It could be. You know, because
very-
I would imagine that's more important than just winning.
Yeah, they're
Like
his
sticking
kind of
to your
guys.
sticking to your team, your crew.
Yeah, and they'll be hungry.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
thing.
true.
And it'll be like these are my kind of guys that I can relate to and so on. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
I did also like the Ford challenge for the that
Oh
truck.
yeah.
Not only the one who wins in the least amount of time. That was a very good touch.
Yeah.
Just push them even more. And yeah, there was this feeling of when Dana left, I was really thinking, like he goes, I'll see you at the final now. And in my head, I was thinking, right, this is like that bit when the teachers left the classroom now, and it could just go fucking mental.
Sort of, but Vitor and Wanderlei they do seem very professional.
Yeah.
Vitor especially seems very professional.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. With every season, I want to pick a coach that I don't like and I do like, so I can get into it. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily going to hate them forever, but for the purposes of this show, I want to support one of the teams. And I'm not
Sometimes it
sure
doesn't
who it is yet.
happen.
I'm not sure who it is.
Sometimes it doesn't happen because I kind of felt that way. Who was it? Who was
Forrest
Brock
and
Lesnar
Rampage.
against?
Oh,
Forrest
Dos
and
Santos.
Rampage.
Forrest Rampage, Dos Santos versus
Right.
Lesnar,
And there was one with Frank Mir.
Frank Mir and
I
Nogueira.
remember. Yes, and I was trying to hate Frank Mir
Right.
because I love Nogueira,
Right.
but he
It
didn't.
wasn't happening.
He's a cool guy, man. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
I
He
have a
does.
feeling Vitor might come across a little bit annoying
Oh yeah, he will do. Well,
because it's
Vanderlei
a lot
touched on
harder
that
to
a
hate
bit.
Wanderlei. Yeah, it's a lot harder to hate the Wanderlei, man. He's just such a
It's a,
classic guy. It's
it's a
just so
lovable
much
guy.
character. Yeah, yeah.
And he had that little line of like, "Oh my God,
Oh,
like
I'm not
I'm
even his
glad I'm not on his
stories.
team." Yeah, he never shuts up. Yeah, I was like, that was great. Did you notice as well that there was one very quick shot in the house? I noticed somebody had jiu-jitsu tattooed across his back.
No, one of the guys who fight had it here as well.
No, one's got it
Oh, one's
all
got
like
all on his back.
all the way across his back, across his
Jiu-jitsu
shoulders.
is
It just says
serious
jiu-jitsu.
business in Brazil, man. It's
It is, man.
serious.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. But yeah, man, it's I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it so far. I love Serginho, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
laugh every time he comes on the screen.
Yeah. You can't help it, can you? You can't help it. He's just like
it's just like-
sunshine.
There was that one bit when Gasparzinho was kicking off in the house, and it just cuts to him, and he just goes, "Well, if you're not happy, you're welcome to leave."
Yeah, yeah, in a really smiley way as well.
Fair
Just a quick update. Remember last week I mentioned about the competing TV company who wanted the rights to show it and
Yes.
lost out, and then they
The
leaked the
Globo
results. Yeah, it was R7. Globo won it, and R7 leaked the results on their website. Well, then there's this little story about it's pissed off a load of MMA people basically, and
I can imagine.
Andre Perdineris, coach
Okay.
of the vaunted Nova Uneo camp, has basically told all his fighters, you're not doing any interviews with them, you can't even appear on their TV shows, we're boycotting them. Which is, I think,
Wow.
such a good move, because that was
Lovely,
so
yeah.
out of order, fucking leaking the
It's
results.
cheap.
Yeah, and
cheap.
then their response now to that was, oh, we've taken it off our website now. Well, the fucking damage is done, mate.
It's the internet, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's like people who put a sex tape on. Once it's on,
Yeah,
it's
you
spreading
can't
like
take that
fucking
back.
wildfire.
You can't say, sorry, whoops, I'll take it down.
That's like sort of using a match to light a forest fire, and then going, "Oh, but I've put the match out."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, but there's a forest on fire, mate. But just one other little thing about fighters as well. I like the look of Rodrigo Dam, or
Rodrigo Dam, I'll remember that name.
as I'm going to start referring to him, Rodrigo Damn.
Damn!
But, they haven't really shown anything of him, but
Okay.
his face, he just has that look.
He's got the face.
He's got the face. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, he's got like a face where you go, yeah, I respect that guy as a fighter.
Okay.
He was
Because
right
I would
at
say
the end.
Sam Cecilia in Tough Live's got the same face. Probably.
Same thing, yeah. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, we'll get down to the fight, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, should we mention that? I mean, I referenced it in our opening, but that fucking bit with Wanderlei shaving his arm.
Yes, I don't know.
It was that thing of like, again, you don't know what to expect from Brazil, and that's just how they do commercials. That's how they do product placement.
I guess, yeah. I mean, maybe it's a jiu-jitsu thing. He wants to be less,
Yeah,
less
it's just like a
traction on his
standard
arms.
thing in Brazil. Everyone shaves their arms if you want to get good at jiu-jitsu, and Gillette's the razor you use.
You do, bang. Yeah.
Okay, then. So the fight, we had Galetto versus Pepe. Now,
Yeah.
pre-fight, I always like to analyse the pre-fight antics and what they're going through. All I was thinking was, first it was Galetto talking, and he just started crying, and one thing was very clear, like even Pepe after, it's like, okay, Brazilian fighters love their mums.
Yes, and their daughters, by the look
And
of
their
it.
daughters, yes. But I was just thinking, save your tears, man. Save your tears. That's like when you're crying before a fight and letting this emotion out. It's like that's energy just seeping out of you. Just hold it in. Hold it in if you can.
True.
And I think even Vitor said that. No, someone said it near the end.
Yeah,
Vitor,
he did.
he said
they were too emotional.
Yeah.
Although you don't know how long before the fight that was recorded, though. That could have been the day before. So, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They just seem like emotional guys, man.
Yeah. So what did you make of the fight then?
I think first round early on, Galetto looked like he had very nice takedown defense. He was stuffing every takedown.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking Pepe's takedowns were horrible.
Is that what it was? Probably, yeah.
He didn't set him up. He was coming from like fucking 2-3 meters out.
Just telegraphing it, yeah.
It was just like, I know you're taller than him, but you can't take the piss like that. Fucking hell.
True. But again, as we've seen in a lot of series, it seems like once they get in the house, the fights seem to get very cagey, excuse the pun.
Yes.
But it's almost like
there's a fear of losing.
the fear of losing overrides the confidence of winning.
Yes, yeah, that
So
definitely happens in the first fight, definitely.
yeah,
I think once they're in the house, the cameras, they've been filmed, they're like, okay, I want to be here now. I want to be here
yeah,
for a while.
and that
Whereas when they're just fighting to get in the house, it's like, well, I'll give it a shot. If I lose, just go back to my normal life. You know,
they're just hungry though. Yeah. Whereas they're in and also that prize money is now dangling over their head.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't want to take any risks.
Yeah.
So that kind of summed up the fight for me,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Second round, it got a bit more lively. One good thing I noticed was as soon as it hit the ground, and we touched on this already. As soon as they hit the ground, jiu-jitsu comes into play.
Instantly.
Like there's no lay and pray. There's no like getting in mount and just
there's no
holding
wrestling going on. Yeah,
side control or because there was one bit as soon as it hit the deck, I saw him just going for a heel hook straight away.
Yeah,
and they both working on it. No, didn't get it back up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that's refreshing.
We're going to see a lot of that, I think, because you just see the dynamics of the fight change suddenly. It's like they're on the ground, and it's like, okay, there'll be no strikes here. There's just going to be someone's going to go for something, and they might tap just like that.
Yeah.
Which is how jiu-jitsu should be, and yeah,
it's not going to be getting wrist control and getting in his guard and
slowly taking his back.
yeah. It's like we're on the ground, jiu-jitsu time.
Yeah,
off they go. But
the story of round 2 was surely the nut shots.
It's good job. It's good job he's already got 2 daughters because might not be having any kids anytime soon.
But again, there was that thing of like the way they do in football when a footballer gets fouled, a soccer player or footballer in Brazil, they'll straight away dive, grab their thing, and look at the ref like, "Oh, come on, man!" And he did the same thing, like, "Come on, man, take a point off."
And so did Wanderlei and Rafael Cordeiro. Both like, "Come on, too." But fair enough. And by the way, another point that we made last episode: you cannot tell me that Mario Yakizami doesn't smoke weed.
Why?
Look at his face.
Oh, his face. Okay.
He smokes weed. His eyes are like. Having said that,
he's half Japanese.
He's half Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I might have just been very racist there.
Either way.
But no, I reckon he's a weed head man.
He's a stoner. Well, hopefully not when he's reffing.
He's got the vibe. We can smell our own. But yeah, in the end, I thought that decision was fair. I know Wandy wasn't happy about it. I think those nut shots that is fair. They were accidental.
If there was another one, then yeah.
Yeah, and he did say you lose a point, but
I'm not even convinced the second one was a nut shot. It was a knee. I looked at the replay. I wasn't even sure how much it connected.
The first one was dirty.
First one was a definite nut shot. Yeah.
But I'd say overall, Pepe connected a bit more on his striking.
Yeah.
And was overall a bit more proactive.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed in the fight overall, like I said, but it's that tentativeness of the early, especially when you're the first fight. You don't want to be the first guy to go off. You don't.
And again, while we said Vitor might be a bit annoying, I loved his speech after the fight where he said, "Don't be pricks, celebrate." And he said the more respect I show, the more authority I have.
I love that. That's one of those phrases when he said it, I really took that to heart and was like, I've got to bring that shit into my life.
Yeah, same here.
That's one of them.
I like that a lot. So yeah, this is a series, like you said, usually you kind of pick a coach who's a bit more of a dick and you kind of want to hate on him. Whereas, like for example, with the Rashad and Rampage one, I love them both. So sometimes it's more just like, if 2 of your mates are basically getting into a bit of a cussing match. Yeah. You don't pick a side. You just sit back and enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Then just go ooh. I think I'm going to be a bit more like that on this season.
Okay. Like I said, I think Vitor's got the potential to be the guy I'm not going to like, but then, like you said, he might go on about and be a bit pretentious, but then suddenly come out with a line like, "The more respect I show, the more authority I have." It's like, oh, you just killed it, man. You just killed it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Okay. I did think it was funny after Galetto lost, the stuff he was saying where he's like crying again afterwards as well and going, "I won't give up, even if I lose a leg." And it's like, well, fair enough, but I think your takedown defense is going to suffer, mate.
True. But yeah, I mean, that's about it, really. I think sums it up nicely.
Oh, quickly, speaking of missing limbs, do you know about Nick Newell?
MMA fighter?
Yeah, MMA fighter with one arm.
One arm?
Yeah. Look him up, right? Nick Newell, if anyone hasn't seen him. Nicknewell.
Okay.
He's got basically just a limb there up to his elbow. Right? Here's his record now. He's
Okay.
6-0, and look at the methods that he's won by: submission heel hook, submission armbar, submission rear naked choke,
A
submission
rear
rear
naked
naked
choke.
choke, yes, and then TKO punches.
So that must
With
just be
one arm,
pulling on his own bicep.
pulling on the stump or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
it's ridiculous.
Wow.
But if you haven't
Well,
seen it, it's a very inspiring story, man. Very inspiring.
Because I saw a fight of a guy with one leg. Didn't last very long.
Really?
Yeah, he just got murked. He just got destroyed.
Where was this?
Just on the internet. I don't know.
Right, you're gonna have to tweet this just so
Tweet
I
it,
can
we'll
see
tweet
it.
it.
Yeah, we'll tweet
Yeah,
the
no
Nick Newell
worries.
thing and the one-legged fighter. That's
Fair dude.
insane. Jeez.
Yeah. Do you want to do a quick? They did show the highlights of what's going to happen next week.
I couldn't
Because
remember.
that was a little Rodrigo.
The teams are
Dam
starting
bit.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do love a bit of team loyalty in Brazil, don't they?
Of course, man.
Fucking
Of
hell.
course. The best example of that for me was season 5, Pulver versus Jens Pulver versus BJ Penn.
Yes,
When the teams, as soon as the teams got announced, it was like, you stay over there, we'll stay over here, and that's
Yeah.
going to happen here as well.
Beef. Yeah. Because I suppose Team USA versus UK as well, but
Yes.
that was kind of already implied anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
So-
was inherent in the show anyway.
But that was one bit I noticed with Rodrigo. Damn,
Yeah.
there's a bit where they're in the bus and he
Yeah.
was giving Gasparzinho a bit of a talking to.
yeah.
It's basically going like, there's joking and then there's being disrespectful. Two very different things.
It's like that time. What season was it when someone left a turd on the toilet or something?
Oh god, upper decker.
An upper decker. And that was
Yeah.
the same line used then. It's like, there's joking around and there's just being disrespectful.
In fact, I think the exact line, or maybe I'm paraphrasing a bit, it was Jared Rollins. Jared, who's shit in the toilet, dog? Who's shit in the toilet, dog? Rollins. I think he said, it's all fun to have like pranks and fun and games, but once doo-doo gets involved, that's just crossing the line.
I think that was I wasn't paraphrasing. That quote was spot on. That's
much.
exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, looking forward to this now next week. This is it's nice to have the two shows, the live one and still the old version as well. Loving it. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people on Twitter I've been checking it out. A lot of people are saying they're enjoying TUF Brazil a lot more than TUF Live, which is understandable because it's a new format. You have to get used to it.
That's it, yeah. But I'm loving them both, man.
Yeah,
Bring it all
bring
on.
it on more, mate. I can't wait for TUF India, fucking TUF Australia. If there's one in the UK, it's going to be great.
But I've heard there's talk of UK versus Australia,
Ooh,
which would be
nice.
fucking nuts, yeah. But
Okay.
who's going to coach Australia? I haven't got anyone. Shit. Soteropoulos,
Soteropoulos, is he their best?
probably. I think they're saying, oh, for fuck's sake. There's an American, his name will come to me in a second, American who's basically now a resident in Australia.
Oh, okay.
The guy who shaves arrows into his chest.
All right, I know who. I can't think of the name, but there's only one guy who shaves arrows into his chest.
Exactly, that
so
guy.
I'm sure you
Brian
know.
something?
Ebersol.
Episode, there you
That's
go.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Okay then. Well, thank you for. I've got to give a shout out to. I've been forgetting to do this to Todd Lake. He's a big promoter of ours on Twitter.
What's up,
Follow
Todd?
him at TX_sweet_T, as in the tea that you drink if you're British, like us. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
see you for
Rear
the
Naked Chat on
review show
Twitter.
of TUF Live now. Follow us, Rear Naked Chat at Twitter, Rear Naked Channel on YouTube, and email us at rearnakedchat@gmail.
That's it.
Anything else?
Peace and
Yes.
love. And bye, Gillette.
See ya.